Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to Semstar Online Learning. Today, you will study a very thoughtful poem from your Beehive book, The Road Not Taken, written by the very famous poet of the 20th century, Robert Frost. Robert Frost's full name was Robert Lee Frost, who was born in 1874 in San Francisco. He was a great American poet. After his father's death, Robert's family moved to New England. In 1912, Frost wrote a famous poetry which was based on the common rural life of the people of New England, and his volume of this poetry became so popular that from then on Robert gained lot of name and fame. Frost's first book was published at the age of 40. He had struggled for a long period to achieve that fame, but later he continued to win many prestigious awards and 4 Pulitzer Awards, which is a very recognized award, has been won by Robert Frost for his outstanding work in literature, and he became the most famous poet of his time. Robert Frost's poems depict the beauty of nature and life of ordinary people, having the essence of philosophy in them. Children, mostly all the poetries of Robert has a very deep meaning and they relate to life in some way or the other. This poem, The Road Not Taken, is also one such thoughtful poem which relates to our lives. Let's see how the poem reads. The Road Not Taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere, ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. The Road Not Taken. Students, it's a narrative poem written in 1915 which gives us a photographic depiction of a quiet moment in woods. Woods means forest. This poem talks of the philosophy of life. Our life is a journey and we have to go on without stopping. And there comes a time in our lives when we come across a situation where we have two options and we have to choose the better one. We find ourselves in a dilemma. Dilemma can be a very difficult circumstance where you do not know what to do, which choice to opt for. And once you move ahead in life with the choice that you have made, it is hard for you to move back from where you have started. The road that we start moving ahead leads to many more other paths, and then we further make choices in our lives and move forward. So we must be very careful while opting for our final choice. Let's see the title first. The Road Not Taken. Children, here the road is a symbol of the choice that we make in our lives. We often regret the choice that we make, but what is done cannot be undone. We cannot go back to our decision. It is a natural tendency of man that we often regret for what we have denied rather than what we have chosen for ourselves. Hence, the poet here uses this title as The Road Not Taken. In this poem, the road is not only means the way, but also a journey of life. Here, roads signify our vital decisions that we make in our life. Let's see more clearly through the first stanza of the poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down, one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Here, the poet sets the poem in a morning when he is out for a walk in the woods. Woods means forest. And he says, two roads diverge in the yellow wood. Here the poet reaches to a point where the road divided or got separated into two ways and went deep into the forest. Yellow wood. Yellow wood means the yellow forest. How can a forest be yellow? It can be due to the leaves that had turned yellow because of the autumn season. So it is the time of autumn and the leaves have turned yellow, giving an effect of a yellow forest all around. The poet stood there and he shows his regret that as he was a lone traveler, lone means all alone, there was nobody accompanying him, so he could not take a very quick decision. He stood there for long, means he had been very thoughtful in deciding which road to choose. We can also refer to the setting as it is the morning time, that the speaker is in the early years of his life and the future is spread out before him. So such occasions come in our lives too, when we are at the start of a career or some venture or some profession, and we come to a decision when we have many options before us and we have to choose the right one, the best one. So it is symbolic. The roads here symbolize that choice which leads us to our journey of life, and one should be thoughtful to take a decision to move forward in his life. And looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. The poet stands there looking as far down each one till where his eyes can see, where the road bent down in the undergrowth. Undergrowth means plants and bushes in the forest. The poet wants to choose both the roads, but he cannot do so. So he is thinking hard, looking down at the end of each one to decide which is the better one. This can also mean that we also take time or think hard to take any decision, analyzing the good and the bad of it before coming to any conclusion.